Hello, welcome back to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is Ade, and I'm excited to do this reading for you. I actually was kind of inspired to do this reading. I will save the spread. I want to give props to Biddy Tarot because this particular spread is one that came from her, and I used it today as I was trying to give myself some self-care and rebalance my energy. And this is a self-care spread, and so I thought, let's do it for the collective. So I pulled 3 piles here that you can choose from. And so this is just a reading to kind of do an energy check, see where you are energetically. What are your energy levels right now? What is feeding your energy? What is draining your energy? And how can you replenish your energy, and how can you nourish your soul? And then finally, what resources and support are going to be available to you? That's what the tarot spread is going to cover. But I also did pull a couple of oracle cards to just give us kind of a greater picture of what's happening for you energetically right now. There's so much going on in our world. And, you know, some of it's wonderful and some of it is horrible. And it's really important that we be mindful of how we're taking care of ourselves through this journey. So this reading is hopefully to give you some insight into that. And if you like the readings that I am providing on the Abundant Joy Tarot, please hit that thumbs up for me. It really does help. Also leave a comment, even if you just leave an emoji. That is also wonderful and helps me to get out to more viewers so that we can kind of expand the community here. So with that being said, let's get into it. There are going to be 3 piles. I pulled a stone for each pile, and I'll just uncover this first card. This pile number 2 got 2 of this first card, but I'll just pull the top one. And so pile number 1, let's see, the stone is dream. Dream, okay. And then your first card is the peony flower. Prosperity can be assured if you care well for tomorrow. Okay. Pile 2, health. Health. And you have the carnation. Keep going, keep growing, be unstoppable. And then pile number 3, we have peace. It's interesting that all of these were turned upside down. So that lets us know that this is kind of talking about internally what we need to do, and also what you need to turn around to strive for, right? So for pile number 3, you're going to be drawn in by the peace stone, and then the card that you have is the lilac. The future is sometimes lost in the wanderings of yesterday. Okay, so those are the piles. I would invite you to just take in a deep breath. Check in with yourself and see which one of these piles, or if there's multiple piles, check out the multiple piles because there may be a message in there for you. But see which one you kind of feel drawn to, and you can look in the description and you'll see the timestamps, and you can go directly to your reading. I'm going to get started here with pile number 1, okay? Okay, pile number 1, let's get into it. So you got the peony flower, which I love the peony flower. They're so beautiful. And this is really talking about prosperity, but what's deep about it is that it's saying that it can be assured when you care, if you care well for tomorrow. And I feel like part of what this is saying is that it's important for you to do the work today for tomorrow in regards to your self-care. and making sure that you're taking the time today to do the baby steps, the little simple things to be able to help prosperity to come easily for you in the future. Okay. Were pulled in by the dream stone. And so I feel like the energy of this pile is for you to begin to think and expand and to think, to think more expansively about what is possible for you as a part of your self-care. It is going to be uplifting, cleansing, healing for you to begin to reach beyond what you think is possible. I just got an image of looking at magazines or images or or listening to podcasts of things that you may not have, for instance, what the images that I'm getting is looking at those podcasts or reels or whatever it may be that are of places to travel to that maybe you've not been in the world, but they're just beautiful places in the world that inspire you. There's this sense of allowing yourself to see beyond your current circumstances, to dream, to expand what's possible for you, put it into your mindset, watch things, listen to things. If there's a particular country that you would be interested in traveling to, then listening to music or stories about that particular culture and allowing yourself to dream about what might be possible there. So that's what I'm getting here for you all, self-care, for the first piece. Now these are the tarot cards, and then I've got 2 oracle cards here, and I hadn't decided which direction to go here. I think I'm going to pull this oracle card first. The last one is a self-care card. Devotion. Wow, look at that. So part of what I'm getting here, when you think about the ballerina, you really think of someone who is deeply disciplined, who is really putting in the work to create a body and a movement that is pristine and beautiful and disciplined, right? And so and then this card itself is talking about a devotion. And so I'm really kind of getting the sense, it's a beautiful card. I really think that it's talking about a devotion to self, a sense of self-discipline, and that might be a way that you can really up your self-care, right? Is to give yourself the time and space to put the work in today so that you can see the prosperity that is going to come for you tomorrow. So the key actions that I'm seeing for this particular pile for right now is going to be about expanding what's possible for you, allowing yourself to dream beyond your circumstances, and then being about doing the work day to day to master that which you're wanting to achieve. Okay, there's this sort of sense of mastery. And so the first card we have here is representing what are your energy levels right now, okay? And you have the Emperor. Wow, oops. The Emperor. So this is gonna really say to me that in terms of your energy levels right now, this is a very strong, powerful force. The Emperor, if we remember, the Emperor is all about strategy, looking at the bigger picture of your life. So you may be in a place right now where you're able to take a step back and really see all of the different components of your life, and then begin to take the steps toward taking strategic actions that will lead you to the success of an expanded dream. All right. So this is saying where your energy is right now. And this is a very leader driven energy, a very powerful, solid energy of the Emperor. Okay. And then the next card we have is going to be what is feeding or fueling your energy. I'm going to move this over here. This will be our last card. So what is feeding or fueling your energy? The 9 of Coins. Okay, so the 9 of Coins is really talking about self-fulfillment. So this lets me know that for those who tapped into this pile, these are 2 very positive, strong places. So you may really be in a positive place energetically and just beginning to take hold of some of the successes, because the Nine of Coins represents self-fulfillment. It's like you've been putting in the work, you've been doing the mastery work, and you're beginning to see the fruits of your labor in a really profound way, like a long lasting way. The Nine of Coins is one of the most beautiful in terms of like success and kind of seeing your harvest come to fruition and being at a place of feeling fulfilled within your life, through your own hands, through the work that you have been putting into. So this is what is the question here was, what is feeding your energy that's right now? So it makes sense that this Nine of Coins, this sense of like self-fulfillment, is feeding the energy of the Emperor, which is going to cause you to have this very powerful leadership energy and strategic energy to move things forward. Now we've got what is draining your energy right now. And we've got the Queen of Cups. And so this really says to me that what may be draining your energy right now is a flow of emotion. It could be that you are giving, because the Queen of Cups she is very balanced in her emotional intelligence, but she's also highly emotionally intelligent. So it may be that what's draining your energy right now is that you're pouring out too much of your emotional energy to those that are around you. So it would be helpful to you to really seek more emotional balance, with regards to what's going on with you internally and what's going on with the people around you. This really feels like what's draining you right now is the emotional energy of those that might be around you. Okay. And then we've got, so then how can you replenish your energy? What can you do to replenish your energy? And let's see, you've got the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is this card that really speaks about past memories. It talks about, I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking for, but like sort of history. It can also speak of childhood memories, but it really leans into that space. And again, we've got this cup energy. So there's sort of an emotional, it's like, I feel like, and it's interesting because this card is like all of these cups are full, right? So there's this sense of like refilling your cup with support from the past. So I would think of it in the terms of like, if there are ways or things that you have done in the past, maybe habits that you've done in the past, maybe you used to take baths all the time and you haven't done that for a bit, to go back and seek out that self-care regimen, because we're talking about this is a self-care spread and reading. So because this is talking about going back, it's almost like go back and get it. Go back to habits that you have had in the past that sustained you, that uplifted you. Maybe you did a certain type of like little ritual cleansing of your house or your door that you haven't been doing. Do that. Perhaps you used to watercolor to calm your nerves, and you found that all you're doing now is being on social media, that it might be an opportunity for you to reclaim some past ways of self-care, and allow that to fill your cups back up, so that all the energy that you're pouring out to the emotionally to the people around you can be refilled, but refilled by something that perhaps you've done in the past. All right. And then we've got, so then how can you nurture or nourish your soul? And let's see, you've got, oh, beautiful. You've got the Empress. Create, my love. It's time for you to create. The Empress, as you can see, she's very pregnant here. The Empress is one of the most beautiful, powerful cards in the tarot. She is a major arcana card, and she is able to birth whole universes. But she is really about this sort of sense of mothering, but birthing, creating love. So when I think about this question of how can I nourish my soul, it's twofold. It's one, nurture and mother yourself in a really profound way, and then also allow yourself to create. Now, for some of you all, that's going to be in an artistic way, allowing yourself to dip into your creativity. But remember, we create all kinds of things. We create even when we're doing something that is in math, right? Or when we're building technology of some kind, developing a project, creating communities and connections and all of that. So there's multiple ways to create, but what will nourish your soul right now is to create, to birth something new, okay? And then in regards to what resources and support are available to you, wow, I love that. I put the deck over here so that if I needed to pull a major arcana card, I would, but you came right out with the Magician, and I love this. The Magician is like really claiming your own power. And look, she's got a paintbrush. We were just talking about this, and she's got pens and pencils here. So we were talking about this sense of what a powerful reading. So we've been talking about the sense of creating, and the Magician is really talking about your own internal power and the power to manifest, right? So it's like begin to do the work of creation so that you can manifest that which you're, what a beautiful ending, right? To kind of come together with this idea of dreaming and the Magician, because the Magician is able to make dreams come true, right? And it's your internal magician. And what it says to me too is like, don't question your power. Like, you have the power to make your dreams come true. So allow yourself to dream bigger. And in this time of self-care, go back to some maybe old habits that supported you in the past that you maybe have put aside, and reinvigorate them to help you to continue to stand in your power and strength of the Emperor, and strategically making moves in your life to even greater increase your self-fulfillment that we see in the Nine of Coins here. Lovely. Now I did pull one final card for you all, which is on like a self-care activity that you can embrace. And let's see, you got connect with the earth. So it's like, go out, take some walks. Maybe that's something that you used to do in the past, right? Is spend more time in nature. And if that's the case, then this is kind of a confirmation of that sense of the Six of Cups, is that a way to fill yourself up is going to be, take a walk. If there's a lake near you or an ocean near you, or, that you can go to a source of water, if it's just the woods, or maybe it's just a park. But just allow yourself to be out in nature and connect with nature. You may even want to do some creative work in nature as well, okay? Write while you're in nature, or paint or draw, or do something, even if you don't consider yourself an artist, quote unquote, that there's still tremendous benefit in just allowing your creative brain to flow, and to do it within a natural space is just an extra little bonus on it. So that's the reading that I have for you all today, pile number one. I hope this gave you some energetic check, and some ideas about how to continue to be in your power, and also to find greater balance in your life. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and thumbs up, hit the likes, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile number two. So you were drawn into this self-care reading with the Stone of Health. Okay, and this, sometimes I get a mix of health, but I feel like this is largely physical health. So we'll talk about what that means and what that looks like here. Oftentimes when the health stone comes up, it's really talking about all the different aspects of health: physical, emotional, spiritual. but I get a strong sense of physical health, that there's something around your physical health that we really need to keep in mind in order to get you to more balance around your self-care. So just as a reminder, we're doing a reading on self-care specifically, and I did pull a couple of oracle cards to kind of give us an additional guidance. And of course, you have the Stone of Health. And the card that you have is Carnation. Now, this is the only pile actually that had two of these cards that fell out. So I'll take a look at this. But this Carnation card, the Carnation is so beautiful, but it's also quite sturdy, and it lasts for a long time, right? It stays in bloom for a long time. You give it a little water. It's got a lot of strength, a lot of resilience, right? And this card is saying, keep going, keep growing, be unstoppable, okay? So if you have had some type of setback with regards to your health, this message here is for you to just keep pushing. There's this sort of sense of like, you need to have the resilience to keep just soldiering on, as they say. Let's see what this other one is. So you've got the Iris. Now that's interesting. Spread your creative wings and take flight. It's interesting because the Iris, it's in its own way, it has a bit of sturdiness too, but I almost think of it as being much more delicate, than a Carnation. But I love this idea of spread your creative wings and take flight. So there is a sense this pile, even more so than pile one, has a lot of movement. It feels like part of the way that you will find a greater sense of balance and self-care is through movement, pushing yourself forward, continuing to go forward. If you've been like, I just got this image of like someone working out at the gym. So like, say you've been working out at the gym and like you have been maybe falling down on, going to the gym, or like pushing back on, say you were doing like, I don't know, like 50 push-ups, right? And so you started pulling back and not doing as many. And it's like, the message here is to first get back to that 50 and then make it 55, right? Like push yourself to continue to move forward and grow. Be gentle with yourself in the process, I'm hearing. But persevere and lean on your own resiliency, because you have the strength that you need to overcome whatever that's interesting. Whatever health obstacle you may be dealing with. Now it's interesting because the reason why I said it's interesting is because what I heard was, like I said, I feel that there was an emphasis on physical health, but it's not just physical health, because it may also have to do with like your emotional health, right? If some of you, and because this is a collective reading, sometimes I get mixed, like some of you may be dealing with physical issues while others are dealing with emotional, while some of you are dealing with both physical issues and, issues with perhaps like anxiety or a greater level of sadness or depression or something like that. And the message here is just that like you have the internal strength to be able to get to the other side of this. It is just important for you to be resilient, to keep pushing yourself forward. If you feel you can only push yourself like one step, then push yourself that one step, and you'll be surprised at what comes to your aid to help you take the next two steps. Okay, so we've got there's a tarot cards here, and I'm going to go through that, but first I'm going to pull that last. That's a self-care card, and then this is an oracle card over the reading, and we've got guidance. Look at that. And there's like a tarot reading here. So part of what this card is actually saying is tap into your sources of guidance, whatever they may be for you. If there are certain spiritual sources that you go to, whether it be like a Bible, a Quran, or any, whatever it may be that you have as a source of support, whether it be through meditation, whether it be through, a trusted spiritual advisor, whatever it may be, that one of the ways that you can continue with your self-care is to gain guidance. For some of you, that may be therapy. Like, it may be that you need to reach out for a therapist or a mentor or a priest or whatever it is that's going to bring you light. All right. So the thing here is to reach out to guidance. Now, the other thing for some of you all, the guidance is, well, for all of you all, but in particular, in terms of seeking out guidance, the guidance is within. Okay. But because this card came up, it really is giving me the sense that you need to reach out to get an outside support to support you in your journey towards self-care and rebalancing yourself with regards to your self-care. So I'm going to now pull the tarot cards, and each one of these has a specific question associated with it. So the first one is, what are your energy level? What's your energy level right now? Okay. And you have the Hierophant. Strong cards today in these readings. So the Hierophant, it's really interesting because we were just talking about guidance, and the Hierophant can represent a wise spiritual teacher, leader. Like just here we have the owl, like who is, sort of teaching this sort of young girl. And there's this sense of like going to find a mentor, a guide, a supporter to support you in this part of your journey. There's never anything wrong with reaching out for additional levels of support and expertise. So depending on what it is that you're dealing with regards to not being able to, or not being fully balanced, or not being exactly where you want to be and needing to increase your level of self-care, there can be all kinds of teachers for that. For some of you all, the guide might just be that you start going to a meditation teacher or a yoga teacher or a Pilates teacher or a trainer of some kind, like a physical trainer or what is that called? A physical therapist, right? Of some kind, to be able to help you to heal and to get to the next level. So for each of you, it may be very different who that teacher, guide, wise leader could be for you, but seek out who that is for you based on what you need. And then in regards to what is feeding your energy right now, okay? So what is feeding your energy? We've got the Hermit. So we've got some really strong cards here with the major arcana. So what's feeding your energy is this sense of the Hermit, is this going within, this stillness within, this quiet. Some of you may have been somewhat isolated in some way, whether it be physically isolated from other people or isolated within your own mind and emotions, okay? But the Hermit card, in terms of what is feeding your current energy, is what is showing up here. And the Hermit is going to be about needing to use your own internal world as your guiding light, as your lantern moving forward. So you may have been doing that, and now you've landed in this place of being in need of a wise teacher and a counselor to support you in moving forward out of a space of possible aloneness. Could be loneliness, but could just be aloneness, okay? So finding that next stage of moving into self-care and out of this Hermit energy, which is a beautiful energy to be in. It's just that this is what we're saying is fueling your energy right now. So in some ways, it could be a good thing, that because when you go into silence, she's holding this little lamp here, and this lamp is like her internal guide. So it's like leaning on your own internal guide is also fueling your energy levels right now. So if your energy levels are good, then that's good. Keep tapping into that inner guidance. If you need to expand that, then it's about making sure that you're going out and reaching out for that wise teacher or that wise community, okay? And then we've got what's draining your energy, okay? And what's draining your energy is the King of Cups. Now, this is actually kind of similar to pile one. So the King of Cups, now we're talking about the emotional realm. We're talking about emotional intelligence. And so it feels like, and I think more so for this pile than for pile one, that this is more about what's happening for you internally, like your own emotional world is kind of draining you a bit. The King of Cups is the master of the emotional world, and this is upright. So it is indicating that you do have a strong sense of emotional intelligence. You may fully understand the emotions of others as well as your own, but in terms of because this is draining you, it lets me know that there's something about your emotionality, the way that you connect and live and move through your emotions, that is draining you. You could be picking up other people's emotions and feeling like that is causing you some unbalance in terms of being able to navigate through that as well as your own emotional world. All right. So that is what it's saying, draining you. And now we want to look at, well, then how can I replenish my energy, right? If my emotional world is draining me, how do I replenish my energy? And you've got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands represent fire, creativity, passion, and Knights are going to represent movement. So the way that you're going to be able to, this is why I really feel like you need to kind of move out of this Hermit energy and start taking action, right? Taking action in your life toward the things that you feel passionate about, that ignite your fire within you, and take the risk and just start taking action. Even if you feel like you need to move slowly at first, you will pick up momentum, because this is talking about how can I replenish my energy? And the way that you can replenish your energy is tapping into your creativity and your passion and taking action, moving forward, okay? And then in regards to, well, then how can I nourish my soul? You've got the Seven of Swords. This is interesting. So what I'm getting for you all is that whereas on one level you need to like begin to take action, step into your creativity and move forward, there's also a need for you to kind of protect your, not just your heart, but also like your creation. Like you can see here in this particular deck, she's like holding on to her egg, like holding on to that which she's birthing, and watching over her other eggs that are down here. So there's this sense that in terms of how can you nourish your soul is to make sure that you're sort of watching over your own creative energy, giving yourself the space and time to be able to keep safe your creative energy. And one way that you may need to be able to do that is to keep some things to yourself, okay? Because the Seven of Swords can also kind of speak of this phrase that I often say on the channel, like everybody doesn't need to know everything all the time, but that is the sense of, I don't want to, it's not like the Seven of Swords can represent stealth, right? A little bit of stealth. But, and so I get the guidance for you all is just being mindful of being protective of your creations, your creative thoughts, your plans to be able to take care of yourself. If some of you are planning to go on a trip or something that is going to help rejuvenate you, just being mindful who you tell about the trip and kind of keeping it close and safe with you so that you can really get the full benefits of it, whatever it might be, whether it's somewhere you're going or a project that you're working on, a relationship that you're in, any of those things. This is what is coming to mind. And then the final card you have is what resources and support are available to you. And you have the Queen of Wands. Okay, now typically I'm going to pull from the deck that I shuffled over here, which I pulled these cards from. I'm just going to pull and see. Oh, and the Ten of Wands. I'm sorry, one more. And the Emperor. Very interesting, like the way this is composed as opposed to pile one. So I wanted to see like if we would get to a major arcana card here, but we'll say here for the Queen of Wands, in regards to what resources and support are available to you. Again, I feel like your support for pile number 2 in regards to your health, we've got spread your creative wings and take flight. That really embodies this sense of the Knight of Wands and this Queen of Wands of like really stepping into your own charisma, your own passion, your own ability to make things manifest, okay? And then you've got the Ten of Wands. So this is to me saying that in order to, what's going to be available to you is to put your burdens down, to spread the workload, if you will, because the tens are going to represent an ending, and the Ten of Wands here is like she's overburdened trying to carry all of these. And so there's an ending to this overburdenedness, okay? And so that there are resources for you to be able to put down the things that are no longer serving you or are weighing you down, right? So to spread the wealth, let other people do it. And one of the ways that you're going to be able to do that is by thinking strategically, taking a larger picture at your world in determining what burdens can you lay down, what burdens can you pass on to others, right? What burdens can you shift, how you hold them, when you hold them, all of that. Like that's what the Emperor is going to do, is look at the larger picture and then make some strategic decisions about putting your self-care first. And what do you need to prioritize to be able to put your self-care first? All right. And then your final card is for your self-care, alone time. This is so interesting. Okay. So I think for you all, pile number 2, you have this balance. There's a need for you to seek the balance of your alone time and then jumping out into the world and making movement toward what you're passionate about and your creativity. Because that's really what is going to nurture you moving forward. But you may need to do this in bursts. Like I'm seeing like a sprinter, right? Like sprinter runs out, jumps through the hoops, takes the risk, and then rests, right? And then the sprinter jumps out. So it's like your way of balancing your self-care is to make sure that you're balancing your alone time with your time out in the spotlight and allowing yourself to be in your full, authentic, charismatic power. Okay. So that's what I have here for you all. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you are liking the readings here, please hit that thumbs up for me. Leave a comment. You can leave an emoji or just a, yeah, pile number 2, whatever it may be. That all helps. And with that, I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. So let's get into it. So again, we're doing a reading on self-care. This is a self-care spread, and you were drawn in with the Peace Stone. Okay. So the first thing that I would say in regards to the Peace Stone is that one of the things that you need to focus on is obviously creating more peace in your life. And one of the ways that we create more peace is by eliminating a lot of excess, right? A lot of extra tasks, responsibilities, like connections. And that's easier said than done. But what I want to say is like, there's an opportunity here for your self-care to think about saying no rather than yes all the time. Okay, so think about what places you can reduce so that you have time to be able to be in more peace. That can be as simple as, sometimes we think scrolling through social media is like bringing us peace, but it's actually agitating us. So reducing that, right? Finding expanded alone time for yourself within your life, um, uh, expanded quiet time so that you can just kind of be still in your own mind, connect to higher sources, the divine, or just listen to what's going on with you, inside of you. There's this need to quiet is what I'm getting. This need to quiet. So you've got the lilac, and lilacs are very beautiful, and it's talking about the future is sometimes lost in the wanderings of yesterday. And what this is really calling out to me is this idea of being mindful to not get too caught up in what was in the past, and letting the past go so that you can be fully present in the now so that you can be ready for your future. Okay. Oftentimes we just kind of live in the past and we don't allow the past to be in the past so that we can fully embrace our future. So I just get this sense that there's a time for you right now, pile number 3, to find a way to gather more peace in your present moment so that you can prepare for your upcoming future. Now you have, let's see, simplicity. I love that. That's a beautiful card. Simplicity. That's the word that I needed in terms of thinking about trying to reduce the things in your life, as I was saying before, to gain more peace. Simplify your life. Simplify the things that you do, rather than going out with a crowd, go out with 1 or 2 people. Rather than make an elaborate, meal, just simplify it. Make some soup, make some, make a salad. Like, I don't know, but this sense of like just looking at the things that you do within your life and trying to simplify your belongings, how many things you have around you. Like, do you need all of those things? Can you release them? The more that you can simplify in your life, the greater peace you're going to see and the greater increase to your self-care overall. Now, the tarot cards that I pulled are for specific questions for each one, or specific ideas or areas. So the first card is, where is your energy level right now? Okay, so your energy level right now, wow, beautiful. You got the Sun card. So the Sun card is all about success. It's kind of a playful energy, a youthful energy, a very vibrant and radiant energy. So hopefully this is where your energy is now, and that you're feeling very vibrant and radiant. I really feel like the more that you can embrace that energy, the better off you're going to be. The Sun in and of itself, as powerful as she is also very simple, and so, sorry, I was just here, I think it's raining. So the Sun, and there's a simplicity in the energy of the Sun card within the tarot, because it really speaks to that playful, like childlike energy. So really leaning into that. And now this is saying where your levels are now, but let's see what is feeding your energy level. So what is feeding your energy level? Wow. The Wheel of Fortune, luck. Okay, guys, so there may be some things that are moving in your life, like something. This is the Wheel of Fortune talks about things moving in your direction, that luck is coming into your life. And this, if you're not already feeling this, then this is what is coming into being, in that things are going to be starting to turn more and more in your favor. And it's going to make you have a sense of like shining more brightly and more radiantly in your life. These are very strong cards. And so I feel very positive that, that what we're seeing here within your energy is that there's a lot of joy that is going to be coming in your life. And I think that this message around simplicity is just so that you can really, also enjoy the simple things, like not just enjoy, but acknowledge and be grateful for the simple things that are coming into your life. And you're going to see those things multiply. Okay. That's really beautiful. The sun and the Wheel of Fortune. That is gorgeous. Now I'm asking, what is draining your energy? What could be draining your energy? And you've got the Four of Pentacles, which is also prosperity. But the thing about the Four of Pentacles is that it can also represent like a, not quite a lack, but like a hoarding energy, because it's like, oh, I have this now. I've got to hold on to it because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any more, or I don't know if it's going to come back. Right. And so that can be draining of your energy, because if you're literally sitting in the sun energy, which is like so abundant, so radiant, so joyful, but yet you're still finding yourself worrying about the little things like, well, actually, how am I going to make this happen? Or there's this beautiful turn of events that's happening in your life, and you're like stalling on moving forward for it because your past is like causing you to be more cautious. That's what this energy is. It's kind of like being more cautious and sort of like holding on to things, when in actuality, to be able to be in an abundant place, you have to have your hands open, like your hands wide open, rather than closed in, trying to hold on to something out of fear, right? So be mindful of not being in a place of fear, because this is what it's saying is currently draining you. And so then if we say, then how can I replenish my energy? How can I replenish my energy? You've got the Hermit. Look at that. And it's spiritual enlightenment. What strong readings these are. So this is really saying, in order for you to replenish your energy, there's a need for you to go within. And it kind of is reminding me again of that same message of simplicity, right? Because the Hermit is like tapping into their own inner wisdom and letting their own inner wisdom be their guiding light moving forward. In order for them to do that, there is an aloneness, a stillness in which the Hermit sits in. And so the question was, how do I replenish my energy? And that is the Hermit card. That is going within. If you don't already have a meditation practice of some kind, even just sitting still for 10 minutes, and just in silence and just focusing on your breathing is a very powerful way to just tap in and hear yourself more. And if you do that consistently, you will be surprised at where it takes you, because you begin to expand your ability to hear what your internal guidance is giving you. Okay. And so that is what that is saying. Now, in terms of the next question is, well, then how can I nourish my soul? How can I nourish my soul? And let's see, you've got the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is a leader, right? He's the ultimate leader. He's very charismatic. He uses his passion and creativity to be able to win, right? Because he's a king. So this idea of like, how do you nourish your soul is to step into your leadership ability, leading yourself and leading others around you. Step into your creativity and your passion, right? Allow your creativity and passion to fuel how you guide yourself and how you guide others. Step into the energy of you that like people will want to follow you just because of the way that you lead. That's the way the King of Wands moves. When the King of Wands walks into the room, it's like everybody pauses and it's like, hey, what is he up to? I want to follow him. And there's no gender associated here. This can be male or female. It's just the energy that I'm talking about, right? So it's like stepping into that powerful energy of capturing a room with your charisma, your passion, your creativity. Okay. And this is what we're saying is will nourish you, is to be able to really kind of stand in that place of leadership. Okay. And then what resources are available is what is this next card. And you've got the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, I typically try to see, I'm going to pull for off the top of this deck for the Page of Pentacles and the Lover's Commitment. Okay. So in terms of so this question is all about what resources and support are available to you. So the 8 of Pentacles talks about mastering something, self-discipline, getting up every day and continuing to hammer away at that thing that you're working toward, that dream that you're working toward. And I keep coming back to that simplicity. Like, what is that one thing that you're working on that you just need to like put your energy toward and keep digging into? Then you've got this beautiful Page of Pentacles, which is going to be the student who is eager to reveal more of what it is that you're mastering, right? Like wanting to learn more, dig deeper, having that beginner's mindset, right? And then we finish it off here with the Lover's card, which this card in particular says commitment. But what I would also say is it's like a heart-centered commitment. And on top of that, the Lovers is about making a heart-centered choice. Okay. So for you all, with regards to your self-care, and this is a really strong reading because you've got 4 major arcana cards here. And really, really strong energy. So there's this need for you it's like you're moving in a very powerful, strong, good direction of abundance, radiance, joy, good luck coming your way, all of that. You just need to kind of stay in balance with your self-care. Simplify your life as much as possible. Allow yourself time to go within and listen to your inner hermit. And then allow that energy to guide you moving forward. Step into your power and creativity and be a leader within your own life, whether you're leading within your family, leading at your job. Allow yourself to embrace that energy of leadership, because that is going to refuel you, right? To be able to step into that leadership, and then continue to like chip away step by step at what it is that you're mastering, and allow yourself to have a beginner's mind, even though you may have been working on this for some time and you may have a certain level of expertise, because we're at the 8 of Pentacles, we're not at the 2, right? And so there's a sense that you've been like really mastering this for a while, but because the Page of Pentacles is here, it's really saying like, keep that beginner's mind, keep that student mind, go ahead and dig in and continue to learn and watch it unfold. And then at the end of the day, making sure that the choices that you're making are heart-centered choices, driven by your sun, if you will, by your radiant energy within you. And you're going to embrace and see and feel and hold more peace. Okay? So that is what I see for you. And I hope that this was helpful for you on your self-care journey. And thank you for tuning into the Abundant Joy channel. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also leave a comment. And even if the comment is just an emoji or just a, hey, I was pile 3 and it resonated, or I was pile 3 and it didn't resonate, whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. So please go ahead and drop that comment, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.